Hello friends, welcome in the third lecture of biomolecules. Till now we have discussed about the classification of the carbohydrates, where we have said that the different type of the carbohydrates are classified as simple as well as complex carbohydrates, or sometimes they have been classified as the monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and the polysaccharides. Sometimes they are also called as sugars and non-sugars. Now, today we are going to see a representative of those carbohydrates as the glucose. Now, first, when we are going to talk about glucose, we know that glucose is the example of monosaccharide with formula C6H12O6. So, we have said that glucose is the example of hexose sugar having the aldehyde group. But sometimes we may jumble with the another name. It is the glycose. Glycose is the common name given to all the monosaccharides. Particularly when we are going to talk about an aldohexose, it is the one class which is called as glucose. So, glycose is the general term which has been given for all the monosaccharides, but glucose is the aldohexose sugar. This glucose, when we are going to discuss, we have said that glucose, it can be prepared by two different ways. The two methods of preparation they have been given, where we have said that they can be prepared from a disaccharide or a polysaccharide by the hydrolysis process. Okay, so by the hydrolysis of the disaccharide or a polysaccharide, glucose it can be obtained. The first method of preparation which has been given, that is the method of preparation of glucose from sucrose. This sucrose, it is the example of a disaccharide. Sucroses, they are represented with the general formula C12H22O11. So here we have said that sucrose, it is a disaccharide. On hydrolysis of the sucrose, we will get the monosaccharide molecules. Here, the disaccharide on hydrolysis will produce two monosaccharide units. What are these two monosaccharide units? One is glucose and another is fructose. Both are having the same formula, but glucose is aldohexose, whereas fructose is a ketohexose sugar. The hydrolysis is carried out by the help of some acid like HCl or H2SO4. So, the acidic hydrolysis has been carried out. The important thing we have to keep in mind that both glucose and fructose, though they are the hexose sugar, they have to be separated. For the separation purpose, we are saying that after the hydrolysis has been completed, we are going to add the ethyl alcohol in the solution. What is the work of ethyl alcohol? We are saying that the solubility of glucose and fructose is different. Glucose is almost insoluble in alcohol, whereas fructose is soluble in alcohol. So, the fructose will go into the solution, whereas glucose will remain insoluble. So, the crystallization of glucose has been carried out, and after the cooling, glucose crystals, they can be separated by the filtration process. So, this is the first method of preparation, that is from sucrose. This is also known as the laboratory method of preparation. सुक्रोजची ही जी मेथड ऑफ प्रिपरेशन आहे तिलाच आपण लॅबोरेटरी मेथड ऑफ प्रिपरेशन असं म्हणू शकतो. दुसरी मेथड ऑफ प्रिपरेशन आपण बघणार आहोत ती आहे स्टार्च पासून ग्लुकोजचं प्रिपरेशन. सो स्टार्च इज द एक्झाम्पल ऑफ द पॉलिसॅकराइड, where we are saying that on large scale when we have to prepare glucose, starch has been used and hence it is also known as commercial method of preparation. So, the preparation of starch is also known as commercial method of preparation. When we are going to consider the starch, it is having the general formula C6H10O5 taken for N times, It is the polysaccharide molecule. कारण तो कोणता molecule आहे polysaccharide. Again it has been hydrolyzed. The hydrolysis, that is addition of water molecule, has been carried out by the help of the dilute sulfuric acid. The reaction has been carried out at 393 Kelvin and under 2 to 3 atmospheric pressure, where after the hydrolysis has been completed, we are getting only one product, that is n number of molecules of the glucose. But when the hydrolysis has been completed, we are going to add two things. One is chalk powder and another is charcoal. Why we are going to use the chalk powder? Here we are saying that whatever the excess of acid is there, that has to be neutralized. एक्सेस ऍसिडचं न्यूट्रलायझेशन करण्यासाठी चॉक पावडरचं ऍडिशन केलं जातं. जिथे चॉक पावडर म्हणजे कॅल्शियम कार्बोनेट आहे, त्याचं सल्फ्युरिक ऍसिड सोबत रिएक्शन झाली की त्याचं न्यूट्रलायझेशन होऊन कॅल्शियम सल्फेटचं फॉर्मेशन होतं. Charcoal, it has been added for the decolorization purpose. Whatever the color is there, that color it should be gone and we should get the white crystals of the glucose. In that case, we are saying that the charcoal has been added. So here we have seen the two methods of preparation. Now we will go to the next part, that is the reactions of the glucose. Now we will move to the next part, that is reactions of the glucose. Here the reactions of the glucose, they can be used for two purposes. One, reaction type of the question it will be asked, or sometimes it will help to see the structure of the glucose. So in order to elaborate the structure of the glucose, those reactions they are very much helpful. When we are going to consider the formula for the glucose, we have said that it is having the formula C6H12O6. But how many functional groups are there and how they have been attached to one another, that we have to explain, and for that purpose we have taken the advantage of all these different type of the reactions. Where the first reaction, that is reaction with hydroiodic acid. The reaction with the hydroiodic acid, that is HI, it will give N-hexane. The formation of N-hexane explains that all the 6 carbon atoms in case of glucose, they are present in a straight chain manner. So all the 6 carbon atoms, when they have been attached in a straight chain manner, we can explain the structure of the glucose, where all 6 carbon atoms are present in a straight chain manner. The second reaction is a reaction with the hydroxylamine. Hydroxylamine is having the formula NH2OH. Where we have said that on reaction with hydroxylamine, glucose gives the oxime. Formation of the oxime of glucose, which is called as glucoxime, it confirms the presence of the carbonyl group in case of glucose. Because oxime formation is possible only if that compound is having either aldehyde or ketonic functional group. So the formation of the CH double bond NOH at carbon number 1, CH double bond NOH at carbon number 1 confirms that glucose is having CHO group at carbon number 1, that is aldehyde group at first carbon atom. So the reaction with hydroxylamine gives us oxime, which confirms the presence of the carbonyl group in it. The next reaction, that is again the reaction with hydrogen cyanide. It is also possible if it is the example having the C double bond group, that is carbonyl group. Carbonyl group present असेल तरच तिथे सायानोहायड्रीनचं फॉर्मेशन होऊ शकतं, आणि अशा पद्धतीचा ग्लुकोजचा पण सायानोहायड्रीन कार्बन नंबर 1 वरती तयार झालेला आहे, जिथे CH, CN अशा पद्धतीचा ग्रुप फॉर्म झालेला आहे, आणि हा ग्रुप तयार झाला त्याचाच अर्थ ग्लुकोजच्या 1 नंबरच्या कार्बनवरती अल्डेहाइड ग्रुप प्रेझेंट होता असं आपण म्हणू शकतो. तिसरी रिएक्शन आहे रिएक्शन विथ ब्रोमीन वॉटर. It may be also termed as the oxidation type of the reaction, where bromine water, it is a mild oxidizing agent. On reaction with bromine water, we are getting gluconic acid. What is the formula for gluconic acid? At carbon number 1, we are having the formation of COOH group. The formation of COOH group, where CHO group is converted into COOH group, confirms the presence of the aldehydic functional group. वरच्या दोन रिएक्शननी आपल्याला कार्बोनाइल फंक्शनल ग्रुप कन्फर्म करून दिला, पण त्यामध्ये परत दोन वेगवेगळे फंक्शनल ग्रुप असू शकतात, आयदर अल्डेहाइडिक किंवा काय असू शकतो कीटोनिक. त्यापैकी नक्की अल्डेहाइडिक ग्रुप आहे की कन्फर्म करणारी ही पुढची रिएक्शन आहे ती म्हणजे ऑक्सिडेशन टाइप ऑफ रिएक्शन. जर ग्लुकॉनिक ऍसिडचं फॉर्मेशन झालेलं आहे तर इथं क्लिअरली आपण सांगू शकतो ग्लुकोज मध्ये अल्डेहाइडिक फंक्शनल ग्रुप प्रेझेंट आहे. जर कीटोनिक फंक्शनल ग्रुप प्रेझेंट असला असता तर ही रिएक्शन झाली नसती. त्याच पद्धतीची दुसरी एक ऑक्सिडेशनची रिएक्शन आहे, जी रिएक्शन आपण कॉन्सन्ट्रेटेड नायट्रिक ऍसिड सोबतची कन्सिडर करू शकतो. In case of nitric acid, again the same reaction is going to take place, which is also called as the oxidation type of reaction. As nitric acid, it is a strong type of the oxidizing agent, strong type of oxidizing agent, HNO3. Whereas bromine water, it is mild type of oxidizing agent. Again, at carbon number 1, we will get COOH group, which will confirm the presence of the CHO group, that is aldehyde group. But as it is a strong oxidizing agent, at carbon number 6 also it is having the presence of COOH group. मग इथे जेव्हा नायट्रिक ऍसिडची रिएक्शन होते तेव्हा पहिल्या स्टेप मध्ये ग्लुकॉनिक ऍसिड तयार होतच, पण पुढे नेक्स्ट स्टेप मध्ये अजून नेसेंट ऑक्सिजन त्याला कन्वर्ट करतात एका नव्या ऍसिड मध्ये, ज्याचे नाव आहे सॅकरिक ऍसिड. The saccharic acid, it is the acid which is having 2 COOH group and 4 CHOH group. Whereas in case of gluconic acid, we are having presence of only 1 COOH group. मग इथे सॅकरिक ऍसिड आणि ग्लुकॉनिक ऍसिड ह्या दोघांमधला फरक लक्षात ठेवा. In case of gluconic acid, only 1 COOH group is there, whereas in case of saccharic acid, 2 COOH groups they are there at carbon number 1 and carbon number 6. Now the last reaction, that is reaction which is called as acylation or reaction with acetic anhydride. Acetic anhydride, it is a reagent having formula CH3C double bond O taken for 2 times O. This acetic anhydride on reaction with glucose gives the product which is called as glucose pentaacetate. Formation of glucose pentaacetate confirms that along with the CHO group at carbon number 1, there are 5 OH groups present in case of the structure of the carbohydrates. So 5 OH groups they are present, where at all OH groups the hydrogen is substituted by the acyl group. हायड्रोजन जातो आणि त्याची जागा कोणता ग्रुप घेतो? COCH3. So the acyl group it has been substituted, which confirms the presence of the 5 OH groups in case of the glucose molecule. So on the basis of all these reactions, we can predict the structure of the glucose molecule. In that structure, we can say that glucose is having presence of 6 carbon atoms which are present in a straight chain manner. The second thing is that glucose it is containing 1 carbonyl functional group. Then again, on the basis of other oxidation reactions, we can say that it is the CHO, that is aldehyde group. And we have said that it is containing 5 OH groups in it. So we can say that overall, depending on all those reactions, we can predict one structure of glucose, which is called as open chain structure of glucose, where they are saying that glucose it will be having the structure like this. CHO, Then we are having CH-OH groups. This is carbon number 4. This is carbon number 5. And this is carbon number 6. So, when we are going to see the structure of glucose molecule, we can say that it is having 5 OH groups and 1 CHO as the functional group. When we are talking about the structure of the glucose molecule, we can say that it is having the presence of OH groups where carbon number 2, carbon number 4, carbon number 5 and carbon number 6, they are having OH group on the right hand side, whereas carbon number 3 is having OH group on the left hand side. So this is all about the open chain structure of the glucose. But when we are going to talk about the open chain structure of the glucose, the representation, it can be done by a formula which is called as Fischer formula. In that Fischer formula, we are going to represent the first carbon atom and that of the last carbon atom. The first carbon is represented as CHO and the last carbon is represented as CH2OH. So here CHO and last carbon CH2OH. In the Fischer formula, we are going to represent the remaining carbon atoms which may be considered as simply the horizontal lines which are going to join these two carbon atoms. So here we are saying that this is carbon number 2, 3, 4 and 5. The H and OH, they have been represented as given in the structure, and this is the Fischer formula for glucose molecule. When we are talking about the structure of the glucose molecule, then we have said that the structure, if it has been represented by the Fischer formula, we are going to use two types of the terminologies along with the structure of the glucose. One is D and L and another is positive and negative side. How to use these two different types of the terminology when we are going to talk about the structures of the monosaccharide. In case of the monosaccharide, when we are saying that monosaccharides, they are optically active compound as they are having the presence of chiral carbon atom in them. Here we can say that in the structure of glucose, we can say that this carbon number 2, this carbon number 3, this carbon number 4 and carbon number 5. These are the chiral carbon atom. If it is optically active compound, we are going to say that it exists into two different forms. One is called as dextroisomer and another is called as levoisomer. If it is a dextrorotatory form, we will give the sign positive, and if it is a levorotatory form, we will give the sign negative. जेव्हा एखादा ऑप्टिकली ऍक्टिव्ह कंपाऊंड हा डेक्स्ट्रोरोटेटरी असेल तेव्हा त्याला साइन द्यायचं पॉझिटिव्ह आणि जर तो लिव्होरोटेटरी असेल तर साइन असणार निगेटिव्ह. In case of glucose, maximum times we will give the sign positive as natural glucose it is dextrorotatory form. Naturally occurring जो glucose आहे तो glucose dextrorotatory आहे म्हणून त्याला sign येणार positive. Along with this, you have to keep this thing in mind that glucose it is also known as a dextrose sugar. Glucose ला कुठली sugar म्हणतात? Dextrose sugar. Whereas when we are going to talk about fructose, it is naturally having the levorotation, so it will have the negative sign. So whenever you will see the structures of some of the compounds, then if the signs they have been given, the positive or negative sign will represent their optical activity. Okay. Now the second thing is related with the structures of all the monosaccharides. त्याच्यानंतर आपल्याला बरेचशा कंपाऊंडचे स्ट्रक्चर डिस्कस करायचे आहे. तर साइन पॉझिटिव्ह आणि निगेटिव्ह हे रिप्रेझेंट करेल त्याची ऑप्टिकल ऍक्टिव्हिटी. Simply looking at the structure, it is not possible to predict anything about the sign. You have to check its optical activity and that by the instrument refractometer. Okay. Now the second thing. Many a times along with this sign, the two symbols they have been given, either they will be represented with capital D or capital L. D or L. Whenever the capital D and capital L, these symbols they have been given, these notations they have been given, then it is related with its configuration. हे कशाशी रिलेटेड असणार आहे तर त्याच्या कॉन्फिगरेशनशी. आणि कॉन्फिगरेशन म्हणजे काय तर इथे लक्षात ठेवायचे एखाद्या कंपाऊंडच्या स्ट्रक्चर कडे बघून तुम्ही त्याला तो डी आहे का एल आहे हे आयडेंटिफाय करू शकता. त्यासाठी तुम्हाला फाइंड आउट करावा लागेल लास्ट कायरल कार्बन ॲटम. फाइंड आउट द लास्ट कायरॅलिटी सेंटर. कायरॅलिटी सेंटर म्हणजेच एकापेक्षा जास्त असिमेट्रिक कार्बन ॲटमचा प्रेझेन्स. जसं की आपण ग्लुकोजच्या ह्या ओपन चेन स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये सांगितले इथे 1 2 3 आणि 4 कार्बन ॲटम प्रेझेंट आहेत जे 4 असिमेट्रिक कार्बन म्हणून ओळखले जाऊ शकतात. त्यापैकी शेवटचा कायरल कार्बन ॲटम हा जो आहे तो शेवटचा कायरल कार्बन ॲटम त्याचा OH ग्रुप कोणत्या बाजूला आहे त्यावरून D आणि L हे डिसाइड होईल. If the OH group of the last chiral carbon atom it is present on the right hand side, it is called as D structure, whereas if it is present on the left hand side, it is called as the L structure. मग D आणि L हे दोन वेगवेगळ्या टाइपचे स्ट्रक्चर कशा पद्धतीने ओपन चेन स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये आपण एक्सप्लेन केलेले आहेत तेही तुमच्या लक्षात आलं असेल. ह्याच पद्धतीने आपल्याला फ्रुक्टोज किंवा इतर काही ऑलिगोसॅकराइडचे जे एक्झाम्पल डिस्कस करायचे आहे तिथे जेव्हा जेव्हा डी आणि एल अशा पद्धतीचा संदर्भ येईल ते रिप्रेझेंट करतील त्यांचं कॉन्फिगरेशन ज्यात तुम्ही लक्षात ठेवणार आहात लास्ट कायरल कार्बन ॲटमच्या OH ग्रुपची पोझिशन. द पॉझिटिव्ह और निगेटिव्ह साइन इट इज ऑलवेज रिलेटेड विथ इट्स ऑप्टिकल ऍक्टिव्हिटी. जर तो डेक्स्ट्रो रोटेटरी फॉर्म असेल तर साइन येईल पॉझिटिव्ह आणि जर तो लिव्हो रोटेटरी फॉर्म असेल तर साइन येईल निगेटिव्ह. Okay, so this was about the open chain structures. Now this open chain structure it is able to explain all the reactions, or we can say that some of the reactions that we have seen they are going to confirm the open chain structure of glucose. But some other reactions which have to be positive according to this structure they have given negative results when we carried out those particular type of the reactions, and in that case we have to think again about the structure of the glucose. And after thinking we have concluded that the structure of the glucose it may exist into some other form which is called as the closed chain structure of glucose. आता जेव्हा ओपन चेन स्ट्रक्चरचं कन्वर्जन क्लोज्ड चेन स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये होतं तेव्हा नक्की काय बदल होतो ते आपण बघूया. Now see, when we have said that this open chain structure of glucose is converted into closed chain structure, what has been changed? We have said that whatever the CHO group was present on carbon number 1, now it get changed into OH group. How this has happened? We have said that the carbon oxygen double bond which was there it is going to break, and hence valency of first carbon and that of oxygen is free. To the free valency of oxygen, hydrogen from the last chiral carbon atom, that is carbon number 5, is given. Hydrogen from fifth carbon is given to first carbon's oxygen and formation of new OH group has been formed. Now this carbon number 5 is only having oxygen but the valency is free, as well as this carbon number 1 is having its one valency free. So they combinedly share the oxygen in between carbon number 1 and and that of carbon number 5. So this open chain glucose get converted into closed chain glucose. The new structure of the closed chain glucose, it is similar with the pyral organic compound, which is said to be pyral. Why? Because pyral is a compound which was having a hexagonal ring where 5 carbon and 1 oxygen was there. मग अशा पद्धतीची हेक्सागोनल रिंग ज्यात 5 कार्बन आणि 6वा ऑक्सिजन होऊन एक क्लोज्ड चेन स्ट्रक्चर तयार झालेला आहे. तेव्हा ह्या नव्या स्ट्रक्चरला ग्लुकोज म्हणण्याच्या ऐवजी आपण त्याला म्हटलेलं आहे कुठलं स्ट्रक्चर? ग्लुकोपायरॅनोज स्ट्रक्चर. In this glucopyranose structure, now we have said that the new OH group has been formed. तो ज्या कार्बन वरती तयार झालेला आहे त्या कार्बनला म्हणायचं anomeric carbon. The carbon where the new functional group has been formed. आधीचा CHO functional group हा तयार कन्वर्ट झालेला आहे CHOH functional group मध्ये आणि ह्यालाच आपण म्हणणार anomeric carbon. Now when we are going to consider the glucopyranose structure formation, not only the open chain compound is converted into closed chain compound. This is known as the hemiacetal structure. याला आपण hemiacetal structure असं म्हणू शकतो. हा जो तयार झालेला कंपाऊंड आहे ह्या कंपाऊंड मध्ये आता काय झालेलं आहे? लास्ट कायरल सेंटर 5 असण्याच्या ऐवजी किती नंबरचा कार्बन झाला? 4 नंबरचा. So whether we have to give it either D or L form, we can say that again it is a D form because the OH group is present on the right hand side. Okay, so this was about the glucopyranose structure. Now in this glucopyranose or closed chain structure, we are going to add one more thing, that is the first one that was about the sign positive or negative. The second one that is about the D or L notation, that is configuration, representation of the configuration. And now the third thing we are going to add, that is about the anomeric form. The main drawback for the open chain structure was glucose was going to exist into 2 different crystalline form. दोन वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे क्रिस्टल दोन वेगवेगळ्या टेम्परेचरला तयार झालेले आपल्याला दिसून आलेले होते आणि म्हणूनच आपल्याला नव्याने विचार करावा लागला की हे जे स्ट्रक्चर प्रपोज केलेलं होतं ते एक्झॅक्टली करेक्ट आहे किंवा नाही. आणि मग आपण ही नवी आयडिया सांगितलेली होती की इंटर कन्व्हर्जन ओपन चेनचं क्लोज्ड चेन मध्ये पॉसिबल होऊ शकतं आणि अशा पद्धतीचं हे क्लोज्ड चेन स्ट्रक्चर आहे. जेव्हा एखादा ग्लुकोजचा मॉलिक्यूल अशा क्लोज्ड चेन स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये जातो तेव्हा त्याचे दोन वेगवेगळ्या टाइपचे एनोमर्स तयार होतात. एनोमर्स, what are these two anomers? One is called as alpha anomer and another is called as beta anomer. म्हणजेच इथे आता एक तिसरी गोष्ट येणार आहे ती म्हणजे either in the closed chain structure you will represent it as the alpha structure or the beta structure. These are the anomeric forms. When the alpha structure or alpha word has been used, then what does it represent? It will represent the position of the 2 OH groups, that is the last chiral center and that of the anomeric carbon OH. शेवटच्या कार्बनचा कायरल कार्बनचा OH ग्रुप आणि anomeric कार्बनचा OH ग्रुप ह्या दोघांची पोझिशन आपल्याला बघायची. If both of them they are going to lie on the same side, whether it may be right or it may be left. In this particular structure it is on the right hand side. दोन्ही पण कुठल्या बाजूला आले? right. If they are lying on the same side, we will call it as the alpha anomer. Whereas if they are going to lie on the opposite side, म्हणजे एक उजव्या बाजूला असेल तर दुसरा कुठे? डाव्या बाजूला, किंवा एक इथला उजव्या बाजूला असेल तर दुसरा ह्या डाव्या बाजूला असेल तर ह्या दोन OH ग्रुपच्या पोझिशनवरनं त्याला आपण म्हणणार बीटा एनोमर. मग अल्फा एनोमर, बीटा एनोमर या दोघांच्या बाबतीमध्ये तुम्हाला मी एक्सप्लेन करून सांगितलेलं आहे. इफ यू नीड मोर एक्सप्लेनेशन you can go to the regular videos where I have explained about the structure of the glucose, that of the fructose in detail in those regular lectures. रेग्युलर लेक्चर मध्ये ग्लुकोज आणि फ्रुक्टोज ह्या दोघांच्याही स्ट्रक्चरच्या बाबतीमध्ये मी ह्या काही गोष्टी डिस्कस केलेल्या आहेत. आता ह्याच जेव्हा आपण नव्या वेगळ्या फॉर्म मध्ये रिप्रेझेंटेशन करतो तेव्हा ह्या फिशर फॉर्म्युल्याच्या ऐवजी मोर कन्व्हिनियंटली आपण एक फॉर्म्युला वापरतो ज्याचे नाव आहे हॅवर्थ formula. In this Haworth formula, what we are going to do? We are going to represent the carbon atoms in a cyclic manner, where the carbon atoms they have shown on the 5 corners of the hexagon along with the oxygen atom 1 आणि 5. म्हणून एकाला इथे 1 नंबर दिला तर इकडच्याला किती नंबर यायला पाहिजे 5 नंबर. मग ह्याला 2 ह्याला 3 आणि ह्याला किती नंबर 4. In Haworth formula, whatever the groups which are present on the right hand side, they should be written on the down side. मग हे मी रेग्युलरच्या लेक्चर मध्ये पण सगळ्यांना सांगितलेलं आहे की राईट डाऊन हे कॉम्बिनेशन लक्षात ठेवायचं. राईट डाऊन. If you are able to draw structure of any monosaccharide in the Fisher formula, you can easily write it in the Haworth formula, where all those groups which are present on the right hand side should be written downside. So here we are going to represent the different type of the atoms or H and OH groups. Okay, so carbon number 1 OH group on the downside, carbon number 2 OH group on the downside, carbon number 3 OH group on the upside, carbon number 4 OH group on the downside, and for carbon number 5 no up and down is there. Anywhere you can write H and CH2OH. So H and CH2OH it can be written anywhere. This is about the Haworth formula for glucose. In the same manner you have to see the structures of the fructose, that of the disaccharides and polysaccharides. So the structures in detail they have been discussed in the topic. In this year we are not having those structures into detail, but I have posted the regular videos where you can see all these structures. And now we will see some of the questions based on these glucose and remaining all the examples of the disaccharide and that of the polysaccharides. Now we will move to the questions based on the carbohydrates. First question is, amylopectin is a polymer of. Now amylopectin it is a part of starch, and starch on hydrolysis gives the glucose molecules. Okay, so amylopectin it is a part of the starch molecule, and starch is made by the glucose molecule. But out of that, which of the glucose molecules? Here the options they have been given. Option A is beta D glucose, option B is alpha D glucose, beta D alpha D glucose. Option C is beta T fructose, and option D is alpha D fructose. Now alpha and beta, when we are going to differentiate between them, we can say that the starch is made by the large number of alpha D glucose molecules. So the correct answer is the alpha D glucose. For question number 1, amylopectin is made by alpha D glucose molecules. Now we will move to the question number 2. A useful derivative employed in the identification of reducing sugar is. The useful derivative used in the identification of reducing sugar is. Option A is oxime, B is phenylhydrazone, C is oxazone, and D is ozone. Oxime, phenylhydrazone, oxazone, and ozone. Now see here, when we are going to differentiate between a reducing sugar and that of the non-reducing sugar, we are going to use a reagent which is called as oxazone. इथे reducing sugar आयडेंटिफाय करण्यासाठी आपण जो कंपाउंड वापरतो तो कंपाउंड प्रोडक्ट फॉर्म करतो ग्लुकोज ओसॅझोन, आणि म्हणून ओसॅझोनची रिएक्शन रिड्यूसिंग शुगर आयडेंटिफाय करण्यासाठी युजफुल ठरते. सो द ऑप्शन इज सी, oxazone. Now we will move to the third question. To convert glucose to saccharic acid, the reagent used is. To convert glucose into saccharic acid. Just now we have seen the reactions of glucose. I will read the options. Option A, bromine water. Option B, Fehling solution. Option C, nitric acid. And option D, alkaline solution of iodine. So, what is the reagent which is converting glucose into saccharic acid? So here we are saying that it is the nitric acid. So the correct answer is nitric acid, HNO3. Option C, nitric acid. Now see the question number 4. For the reduction of glucose to N-hexane, the reagent used is. Reduction of glucose into N-hexane, the reagent used is. Option A is HBr, option B is HCl, option C is HF, and option D is HN. No doubt, for conversion of glucose into N-hexane, we are using alkyl halide. But out of that, which alkyl halide? Sorry, hydroiodic acid, it should be the correct answer. We are using the different type of the hydrogen halides, not alkyl halides, hydrogen halides, and out of that we have said that the correct option it is HI. Now we will move to the fifth question. The letter D in carbohydrates signifies. The letter D in carbohydrates signifies. Option A is dextrorotatory. Option B is mode of synthesis. Option C is its configuration, and option D is its diamagnetic nature. So what is the correct answer? D and L, they have been used to represent the configuration of that particular carbohydrate. So configuration is the correct answer. D and L are representing the configurations. Now question number 6. Hydrolysis of sucrose is called as. Hydrolysis of sucrose is called. Option A is mutarotation. B is saponification. C is inversion. And D is deesterification. So, when we have discussed about the hydrolysis of the sucrose molecule, it is a disaccharide molecule, and we have said that the conversion of this sucrose into glucose and fructose is called as mutarotation. So the correct option is option A, mutarotation. Now here sometimes we may jumble that inversion, it should be the proper word used to mention the correct answer. But the type of the sugar, it has been called as the invert sugar. Not the process is called as inversion. So here we have to keep in mind that correct answer for the hydrolysis of sucrose, it is mutarotation. Now we will move to the next question. Question number 7. Invert sugar is. Invert sugar is. Option A, levorotatory. Option B, dextrorotatory. Option C, optically inactive. And option D, racemic mixture. So, invert sugar, it is the name given to the hydrolysis product of the sucrose, and we know that in that case the optical activity, it is towards the left hand side and it is a levorotatory form. So the correct option is option A, it is a levorotatory form. So inversion of configuration is going to take place when we are talking about the hydrolysis of the sucrose molecule. Now we will go to the next question, question number 8. Cane sugar on hydrolysis gives option A, glucose only. Option B, glucose and maltose. Option C, glucose and fructose. And option D, glucose and lactose. Now see here, cane sugar is the name given to a compound which is also known as sucrose, and we know that after hydrolysis of the sucrose we are getting the glucose and the fructose molecule. So the correct option, it should be glucose and fructose, which is given as option C. Now we will move to the next question, question number 9. Which of the following compound cannot form osseous zone? Which of the following compound cannot form osseous zone? Option A is glucose. Option B is cellulose. Option C is starch. And option D, both 2 and 3. Now just now we have said that the glucose osseous zone has been formed when we are going to talk about as a reducing sugar. But when the cellulose and starch they have been considered, they are the polysaccharides. So here the correct option, it should be option D, both 2 and 3. So which of the following cannot form osseous zone? Both cellulose and starch cannot form the osseous zone. Now we will move to the 10th question. Starch is composed of 2 polysaccharides, namely starch is composed of 2 polysaccharides, namely option A is amylopectin and glycogen. Option B is amylose and glycogen. Option C is amylose and amylopectin. And option D is amylose and amylopectin and glycogen. But when we are going to talk about the theory part, we have said that starch is composed by the 2 different parts. One is amylose and another is amylopectin. So here we are saying that amylose and amylopectin, they should come into the options only, and that is option number 3 or C option, amylose and amylopectin. Now we will move to question number 11. Oxidation product of glucose with bromine water is. Oxidation product of glucose with bromine water is. Option A is sorbitol, B is gluconic acid, C is glutamic acid, and D is saccharic acid. So, on bromine water, glucose get converted into, what we have said, it get converted into gluconic acid. So, the correct option is option number C. C. Gluconic acid. Sorry, option number B. Gluconic acid. Now we will move to 12th question. Acylation of glucose gives. Acylation of glucose gives. Option A is glucose acetate. B is glucose triacetate. C is glucose pentacetate. And D is glucose diacetate. Now, when we have seen the reaction, we have said that all 5 OH group, they are converted into the acyl derivative. So, we get glucose pentacetate as the product. So, here pentacetate derivative is 4. So, the correct option is option C, glucose pentacetate. Now see the question number 13. Which of the following is sweetest sugar? This question has been asked for many different type of the exams. The sweetest of all the sugars, it is the fructose sugar. So, options are glucose, fructose, lactose and sucrose. So, you have to keep in mind fructose is the sweetest sugar. Question number 14. Naturally occurring glucose is called. Naturally occurring glucose is called. Option A is dextrose. Option B is galactose. Option C is fructose. And option D is lactose. So, we have said that the naturally occurring glucose is dextrorotatory. So, it was also called as dextrose sugar. So, the correct option is option A, dextrose sugar. Now, see the question number 15. During the preparation of glucose from starch, chalk powder is added to the reaction mixture too. Why the chalk powder has been added? Option A is accelerate the rate of reaction. Option B is decolorize the filtrate. Option C is neutralize excess of acid. And D is obtain crystals of glucose. So, when we have discussed the theory part, we have said that the chalk powder has been added in the reaction mixture to neutralize the excess of sulfuric acid. So, the correct option is option C, neutralize excess sulfuric acid. Now, question number 16. On complete hydrolysis of starch, we finally get option A is glucose, B is fructose, C is glucose and fructose, and D is sucrose. So, on hydrolysis we are getting only glucose, and that also alpha D glucose molecules. Now keep this thing in mind. When we are going to talk about the structure of the starch, it is containing alpha D glucopyranose molecules, whereas in case of cellulose, they are beta D glucopyranose molecules. मग समजा सेल्युलोजच्या स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये विचारलेलं असेल तर तिथे तुमचं ऑप्शन असायला पाहिजे बीटा डी ग्लुकोपायरॅनोज किंवा ग्लुकोजचे मॉलिक्यूल. नाउ वी विल मूव टू द 17th क्वेश्चन. Amylopectin is option A water soluble, option B water insoluble, option C forms colloidal solution with water, and option D soluble in all solvents. Now, in case of the structure of the starch, two parts are there. One is amylose and another is amylopectin. Amylose is water soluble, whereas amylopectin is water insoluble. So it has been asked amylopectin. The correct answer, it should be water insoluble. So amylopectin is water insoluble part, and amylose is water soluble part of the starch molecule. The percentage sometimes it will be asked. Maximum amylopectin is there, 80% part it is amylopectin, whereas only 20% part is amylose part. Now question number 18. Glucose has dash functional groups. Option A, aldehydic. Option B, alcoholic. Option C, ketonic and alcoholic. Option D, aldehydic and alcoholic. So the correct answer, it should be both. It is containing aldehydic and alcoholic functional groups. So here we are saying that it is containing the aldehydic as well as alcoholic functional group. So D is the correct option. Now question number 19. Glucose is reacted with HI, gives dash dash. So here this question is also repeated. We have said that on reaction with HI, glucose gives N-hexane. N-hexane. The options are sorbitol, N-hexane, saccharic acid and gluconic acid. So the correct answer is N-hexane. Now the 20th question. Glucose is oxidized by strong oxidizing agent gives. Strong oxidizing agent gives. Option A is saccharic acid, B is gluconic acid, D is N-hexane, and C is N-hexane, and D is sorbitol. So strong oxidizing agent is nitric acid, and it converts it into saccharic acid. So the correct option is option A, which is the saccharic acid. So the correct answer is saccharic acid. This is question number 20. Now question number 21. The letter D and L in carbohydrates represents. D and L in carbohydrates represents. A is its optical rotation, B is its nuta-rotation, C is its direct synthesis, and D is its configuration. So this question was asked in the different manner, and in that time we have said that D and L, they are going to represent the configuration. So the correct option is option D, its configuration. Now we will move